of truth when you're winging it, bro. You're just like, man, is the
Oh,
truth,
there we
bro?
go.
From the
There we
side
go.
of me,
Hang
you
on.
know?
I'm live now. It says, right.
All
There we
right.
go.
I
So,
can check on YouTube if you want me to.
I can see it now, saying that we went live like a minute ago.
Okay, for sure.
Oh, there we go. Saying now we've got 2
I
viewers.
got
Okay,
my
so
notification.
I still had to press the go live bit up at the top. Apparently,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
I
enough
see
to
you,
do it
I see
in
you, okay.
Streamlabs. Yeah,
Man, Curtis is live, man.
I'm not used to going live on YouTube, so yeah. So
Oh, okay.
right, let's
Turn
start.
that down. There you go.
Okay, so any opening statements, I suppose, on it, like
Yeah,
making it sound
like,
really
actually,
official. But...
I have an opening. I just want to say, for like anybody who watches or anybody watching now already, like I hope you guys are actually getting outside. There's a lot of people right now that's outside enjoying nature, or people just being together. You know, they say that Corona is like stopping us from getting sick.
I really
And we're
hope
out
that
here.
you are social distancing.
Man, to be honest, nah, man. I've been communicating with a lot of people. I've been, and I feel better. I feel stronger as a community. You know,
Really?
when I go here and talk to
I
people,
mean,
they don't feel afraid to be, close. You know.
I suppose it's really different in America. In England, a lot of us are very worried about Corona.
Wow.
I am. Like, my mum is like asthmatic, so if she got it, it could be potentially deadly. But at the same time, I still have to go to work because I work in retail. So I can't social distance. I try to as much as I can when I'm at work, but it's impossible to do it all the time.
Yeah.
When I'm not at work, obviously I do social distance. I'm literally just in my room all day most days. So.
Wow.
I ain't be like sit in my room all the time. You know what I mean? Because that's just closed air, and like you can't really go outside. Like being outside right now is beautiful. You can breathe the fresh air. No airplanes. I was reading about it earlier. There's no airplanes. There's nothing on.
Facts. That's another thing. There's no chemtrails. No chemtrails. There's no chemicals in the air.
Everywhere's a lot cleaner now. There's a lot less pollution.
Yeah, it's just fresh air. This is probably the freshest it's gonna get.
Yeah, until everything reopens again.
Mother Nature is definitely taking a bounce back right now.
You see how green everything is? It's so green. This is the greenest it's ever been.
My man Rainer's spinning those facts, man. I appreciate you, bro.
I didn't realize that there's degrees of how green stuff is.
Yeah. Like a chair, bro. That's all it looks like outside.
My chair's...
But, yeah, that's about it right there, right here.
Just covered the whole thing.
Yeah,
right, so opening statements on the topic that we are going to be discussing.
All right, for sure. Oh, man. They're rioting in my city. They were last night. They broke a couple mall buildings, the glass windows of Macy's. And
Have you been out and taken part, or have you been like keeping to yourself?
I'm really trying to get out now. I'm really trying to keep an eye out and ear out for like anything going on like near me. I wouldn't mind going about 3 hours out, to go join up, because this is something revolutionary that I really want to.
This is revolutionary history. This is gonna go down in history forever.
Yeah, this is the sad thing is that I hate the fact that it's taken this long to get to this point, but it's gone like. I've even thought if it wasn't for Corona, I would want to be there. I would want to travel out to America to go and help out with what's going on. But obviously,
people don't even care about Corona right now. They're out. They're out. They're doing what they want.
He's saying as far as traveling, right?
I physically can't leave the UK. Like, there's no flights. But even still, even if there was flights, I don't think I would travel.
Are they protesting in your area?
There's stuff going on in like London, but that's
really
2 hours travel. Yeah, there's marches in London, Birmingham, Sheffield. There's Black Lives Matter marches going on all over the UK. Nothing in Norwich that I'm aware of, but then at the same time, like, I can't afford to be out in massive crowds. If I could guarantee it was social distance, I would go, but I can't guarantee it's going to be social distance.
I understand that. I mean, as far as I think, what really ponders people's minds who either try to be safe or I would say just think about it on a regular is like how important would it be? Like, is it that important to really help bring justice? Like, do you really want to be out there type of thing? Would you risk like catching corona type of thing. No
It's
offense
not.
to anyone.
I'm not that worried about getting it though. That's the thing. I'm
Yeah.
not worried about me getting it. It's my mum. It's taking it into work where there's older people. If I end up getting it for 10 days, I don't know who I'm potentially
So
spreading it to.
you're just being safe all around.
Yeah. But
See,
then,
you know what sucks though is that it feels like it's not real because it hasn't hit us yet. You know what I mean? It feels like it's not real. There's something going on outside of the world. Like, you know what I mean? Something
like at nighttime when you're
something's
sleeping.
planning. Something there's planning because it doesn't feel real. That like all this is going on and Corona's going around. It just doesn't feel real. You know what
One
I mean?
thing I would say is like they have their own world that they portray on social media. They this type of epidemic that a lot of us don't seem to be going through, except for people who have sickness or respiratory issues, which comes from the 5G. These issues are coming from 5G, and they're matching them to corona symptoms. So like, let's say if like how your cells bubble rapidly from the radiation coming from the 5G towers that they have near your schools or on the block, I feel like
this is where we're going to have to disagree because I don't think that 5G has anything to do with it.
Okay.
Personally, I think that it is a virus. I don't know, like, there's all these conspiracies about where coronavirus came from. But viruses spread so easily, and if you look up radiation poisoning, I don't think that the symptoms go hand in hand with corona. But, it's... I don't believe it.
I mean, radiation can improve, it has sort of like symptoms, like, what I mean, the upper respiratory system, like it just causes corona to be worse.
And then also, I would say I've done antenna searches in LA, in New York, in Indiana, and I've tried to do some in some other countries like China and stuff like that. And it's multiple, like it's triple the numbers that it has in my area as far as like new 5G towers being put up or antennas. And New York is where it triples from here to New York compared. So, and then there's also doctors and people who deal with like poisoning, who say that they're telling their men to keep building towers, and if they get sick, then send them home and they'll bring more men. And I mean, I don't know. That's kind of like my viewpoint, kind of, Like I'm seeing all these facts, like cold-hearted facts.
We actually have a comment from somebody saying everything is opening up too fast in the UK. There will be another wave. Also, the government are worrying about money and not lives, which I don't know if you guys are keeping up with what's going on in the UK.
Yep.
We're still getting 8,000 cases a day, and yet we're opening things up. And we're getting more cases now than when we actually closed. And yet...
Yeah, the government is here where I live starting to reopen everything up because we're losing money and businesses, and they're trying to reopen for families that like are losing money or own businesses and they need money. You know what I mean? So it's like the same thing here.
We have to get the balance right, but when there's still 8,000 cases and we're still getting, I think it's like 300 deaths a day, it's way too soon.
That's a lot.
Say that it's going to take another 2 weeks before, or up to 2 weeks before symptoms start to show, and then from there,
it's crazy. I think another thing also is that there are a lot of agendas being put into place as to why they don't want us outside. Also, I've saw some robotic dogs and robotic humans after taking time to practice with, to implement that in for people who don't want to, have vaccines. And that's another thing, vaccines. Vaccines have been proven to be harmful towards people, like in general. Like there's no benefit from it, from the studies that they've had recently, upon during this whole epidemic, I guess you could say.
It does depend on the vaccine, though. I think they will be working to try to find a vaccine that won't be harmful. But then at the same time, if we're, because in the UK we're trying to rush through a vaccine to be ready in September, I don't think I would trust that, because there's no amount of testing that you can do between now and September that would make it ready.
And then it varies from person to person on how the coronavirus goes through. You know what I mean? Someone can have worse respiratory system and someone can have better. You know what I mean? So the cure wouldn't really help if someone has a better respiratory system, but it would maybe help people that are worse with it.
Yeah.
And then another thing is like, are people exercising during this quarantine to keep the respiratory system going? You know, to be able to have your heartbeat pumping. You know, like we're all quarantined up, but no, are we really all exercising and doing the things that we have to do to keep our mental state healthy?
We have to, as with anything though, I suppose it's finding the balance. You have to make sure that people stay healthy. You have to make sure that those who are sick aren't getting it. But then at the same time, like in the UK, they've said that people who are have the virus, who have been shielding, who have the weakened respiratory system, they're now able to go out as of tomorrow, even though there's still thousands of people with the virus. And we were told that we've got like a level for it. So however many levels, whatever level depends on how bad the condition is. And we're still level 4 out of 5, with level 5 being critical. But yeah, we're opening things up, and we're being told that we won't let people back outside, those who are being shielded, until it's level 1. And yet we're still at level 4, but the people who are being shielded are being let outside. And I don't get that. We also have another couple of comments as well. So, this music fills my life, but yeah, I completely agree. This is awful. They're going too fast, and the deaths are anywhere between 200 and 550 each day with no obvious consistency. No way my child is going back to school yet. Then they said, we're still going to isolate as best we can, regardless what the government says. Luckily, my other half works from home self-employed, and I'm on long-term sick, so can't work. And then iFrenzy who was the first person who commented, but everything is rushed, I understand. People need money, but is life more important or is money? I'll put that to you too, because I've just talked a lot there.
Man.
It ultimately depends on what the governor wants. Like, if he wants life, then he wants life. But if he wants money, he or she wants money, then they want money. If they want money, they don't care about life. They don't care they don't care about life. They just want money. You know what I mean?
I will put this to you though, right? We as a country are already very understaffed when it comes to our NHS.
Yep.
So we've had 220 something people have died in the healthcare sector have died from the coronavirus. There's 220 people that they need to replace on top of, I think we were something like 50,000 nurses short, or we're going to be 50,000 nurses short. We've now got to replace them, as well as, and so the more we've got to replace, that's more money it's going to cost. So by not saving lives, you are then also losing money as well.
Okay. You are technically losing both.
Yeah, you're losing both.
And gaining both, in a way.
I have a question.
Okay.
When they're marking these people for death due to corona symptoms, what are these symptoms? Like how are they marking it? Because I've done research, and the doctors are saying that anything that has to do with corona, like related symptoms, they just mark it as death by corona. You know, so it's kind of like, do you know the testing? Do you know what they're looking for?
It's very inconsistent. There's a lot of people who say, for example, back in like January, February, or there's consistent stories. There's some people are saying it's done one way. There's some people are saying it's done the other. If you have coronavirus, but say you die of like, I don't know, cancer or something, as an example, it could be that they mark both down, but then it could be that they look at whichever one. Say, for example, a brain tumor isn't gonna have anything related with coronavirus, so they could do it that if say somebody's got lung cancer and then gets coronavirus, they could put down both.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the way they're doing it, because obviously they would interact.
It's whatever symptoms that they die with, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, if they're actually caring, they're going to write down what symptoms they had when they died. But if it's in a large city with like multiple cases of coronavirus, they're going to obviously mark it as coronavirus. They're even building morgues, home-shifted morgues, and they're putting them in the ground. You know what I mean? Because so many people are dying from it.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. They're actually marking people with coronavirus that maybe not even died from coronavirus, but just from different virus.
I don't know if that's what they're doing in the UK, but I've heard stories that that's what they're doing in the US.
That's what they're doing in New York and all them big cities.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
They're making homemade morgues in the ground with multiple just burials of people.
And I would say you said brain tumors. And a tumor is when cells are rapidly growing, right? I mean, does that link to cancer in a way? Because you get tumors from cancer, having cancer too. They have to do operations on you. So I feel like it still connects to radiation.
Yeah, so radiation they're gonna obviously use radiation to kill that, and radiation can cause cancer.
But then they also use radiation to heal cancer as well. It's a weird system.
Have you seen Black Ops 3 or 4 when they have the Guardian kill streak that emits radiation and kills people? Have you seen that? It has like a fuzziness between it when you look through it. That kill streak. You have to look it up sometime, but it's the same thing they're using for the 5G towers. That's why birds are falling out of the sky, and I don't know if you've seen videos, but there's birds running into buildings and just dying, like hundreds of birds in certain places
because of that radiation.
But if you want to switch the topic, that's fine with me. Because I know it's a similar topic.
We're supposed to be talking about Black Lives Matter and that, but another comment is I believe everyone should have the test to see if they have already had it, assuming they cannot get it again. Then they can be allowed out until they sort out a vaccine. I do believe that, but there's no actual scientific evidence yet to say that they can't get it again, which is... or to say how long they're immune from getting it again for, which is the issue.
Okay, quick question. How do you feel about vaccines being forced upon people? How do you feel about that?
Vaccines are just basically small little cells from the flu or just different viruses, and they're put inside the vaccine to make it heal. You know what I mean?
I think in the case of a pandemic, I do think that they should be mandatory, or at least they should have one round where people choose to have it, and then they'll decide if there's enough people to have that herd immunity. Which herd immunity is a very big topic in the UK, because our Prime Minister is going with herd immunity, but then we don't have a vaccine or anything to provide herd immunity. So say if you have 80% of the population who decide, yes, they want to try this vaccine, then you won't really need to force anybody to have it. So I think they should have one round where people opt in, and then if there isn't enough, say for example, if only 40% of people opt for it, and then they're like, well, we need 80% of people, then they should have mandatory for everybody else, or for everybody else who it is safe for.
Yeah, so do you feel like for the people who will die not to get the vaccine, because there's not rumors, but there's sayings going around that people would die to not have a vaccine because they've been trying to take over people mentally for decades, and they have percentages of success towards that. So I feel like me, I would rather die than take a vaccine that I don't know is going to benefit me, and I don't know the long-term effects. And I feel like, they've already done a lot of things to show that they don't care about us, look what's going on. So I kind of feel like...
See, I think a lot of the stuff that has done to prove that they don't care about you has been done by the government, whereas this is going to be actual scientists researching it, and it's going to be fully operational. They're going to make sure that it is for the right reasons. The scientists won't approve something because the government want them to. They'll approve something because they know it works.
I understand that. So do you feel, how should that be treated for a person who is not going to take it and it's mandatory?
I don't think they'll take it well, but at the end of the day, it's all about saving lives, isn't it? Like, the more lives you can save.
Do you think there will be an outbreak if it's mandatory and people aren't, the world is just against it? People, because it's a different perspective of view from the UK to LA or Indiana,
Yeah.
So people will they'll be in our houses with guns loaded if you try to come give them a vaccine or something. You know what I'm saying? Because some people they really don't associate.
In America, I think it's a whole different story. At the end of the day,
yeah,
you
and
can't.
That's the crazy thing.
Like, yeah, so you can't go in America. You can't really storm somebody, like go into somebody's house and be like, "Look, you've got to take the vaccine," because chances are they'll own a gun. They're going to shoot you.
Yeah.
But then at that point, it's up to those people who do want to take the vaccine, who do want to save people's lives. It's up for them to take the vaccine so that there's enough people so that there is herd immunity so that it dies out. Whereas for those who, in the UK, we don't really tend to have guns. We don't really...
Okay.
Like,
wow.
People, obviously you have people like farmers and stuff will have shotguns, but you have to have a full license. And you have to be like taught how to use it, I think, before you can do it. It's completely different here, but in America, obviously, you can just walk in and buy a gun, which is scary. Yeah. That's a scary thought. But yeah, so should we move on to the topic that it is titled?
Yeah, definitely. We can hop back on that some other time.
Yeah.
Rainer, you there?
I mean, I'm sure it'll come up again at different points. Because obviously it is very relevant right now. Both topics are interchangeable and very relevant. So, what's the other guy's name, by the way? I didn't actually get his name.
Rainer.
Ringer?
Yeah, Rainer, you there, bro? He's probably doing something. I'm not sure. If you want, we can continue or we can wait.
We can continue. So, let's just see if there's anything in particular. Right, so... opening statements on this topic, because obviously you've already talked about.
Yeah. So. Man, let's see. Oh, there's Rainer. He's back. Okay. Opening statements. I would say, what do you think is the fastest approach towards justice for the people?
Okay, well, in terms of the fastest thing anybody can do, it would be that the Minnesota Police Department fully charge and bring this guy, put him in prison. Obviously, you have to go through the trial. Oh, where'd he go?
I'm not sure. It's okay, though. Go ahead.
So, obviously, the fastest thing that can bring peace is that he has to be fully charged, he has to be arrested and sentenced at the minimum second-degree murder. Minimum. And then the 3 guys who was with him also has to be charged with minimum third degree. I
was saying I agree, man, fully.
That for me, that's the only way that this ends is when they get sentenced.
What about you, Rainer?
I agree that all 4 should be charged, not just one. The one is being charged right now. He's being charged fully for second-degree murder and all that. But yes, I agree.
I think the other 3 are still being investigated, as far as I'm aware.
Because obviously there was one that was just standing there watching.
Yeah, there were 2 on the back side of him.
2 on his leg and on his back.
And then one was like keeping the crowd under control.
Tao. His name is Tao.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel like all 3 of them, because he's, as a police officer, you're supposed to render aid when somebody's saying they can't breathe, and they're saying their neck hurts, everything hurts, chest hurts, and he's crying for his mom who died 2 years ago, and that's just being mutilated, like, almost. So I feel like as a police officer to let that happen, it's just
at that
as
point,
an ex-police officer.
As soon as he says he can't breathe, that's it. You get off. For me, like, regardless, even if he's saying it, but he actually can breathe, you just have to get off. As soon as somebody says he can't breathe.
And he's in handcuffs. So think about that. He's already in handcuffs.
That's hard for him to breathe because someone's already on his back and on his legs, so he can't physically move.
Yeah, and there's video footage come out today as well. He was actually in the car before that. They dragged him out of the car, across the road, pinned him down, sat on his neck for 9 minutes. Where he was saying,
that footage.
I've seen clips of it,
yep.
But I haven't seen. I've seen the clip where he's in the car, and it looks like they're at both doors. One of them is outside the car, and then three of them are leaning in the car, and the car's like doing that, and it looks as if they're like beating him up.
That's I saw a clip. Just a little piece of it. I'm not sure if it was a 15-second clip, but I saw it. It looks like arms are being thrown, kind of like in the car, he's breaking in to do something. I'm not sure, but man, that is horrible, man.
And you can actually see as well. It's Officer Tao, I think he's bald, isn't he? You could actually make out it was 100% him as well.
Yep.
Man, I saw a post of a celebrity saying that she was gonna put out $100,000 to the people who get arrested for bail, like in the protests. You know?
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think about
that? What put money for the people protesting?
Yeah, for the celebrity putting $100K towards the people protesting getting arrested.
I honestly think more should do it. Although it depends, because here's the thing: the Black Lives Matter movement, the peaceful protesters, or not even necessarily just the peaceful ones, but it's being hijacked right now. You have so many people who are all the people who are going in and looting it. You look at Jake Paul. I don't know if you know about what happened with Jake Paul. He basically he's worth like $11 million, and he goes into a shopping mall, I think you call it, and he goes in, and he's just smashing stuff just for the sake of it, and he's just going in. He's like going into Sephora and taking stuff from Sephora, and it blows my mind that a movement that's supposed to be about somebody being murdered, and suddenly you have people hijacking it and going, let's go and loot.
Yeah.
It's just turned into looting.
Yeah.
And just taking advantage, because there's so many people that just the police can't corral them. And you know what I mean? They can't do anything because there's so many people, and they just go around and bash everything. It's just turned into looting and rioting.
We have another question. Do the officers in America have body cams like they do in the UK?
Yes.
I think they do, but conveniently, I think their body cams were switched off, weren't they?
Yes, they were switched off.
Yeah, they can turn them off themselves, I'm pretty sure. Or they can cover them or whatever, you know?
I personally think it needs to be mandatory that body cams are kept on at all times.
Always, man. Always. Some people they go against the system that we set up for them, you know, because they're here for us. So you know, they go against it, and
to serve and protect when they want to, apparently.
Yeah, man. Although and I feel bad for the good cops, man, because they have to suffer.
I've been retweeting loads of stuff. Oh, what was you saying?
No, I was gonna say I was seeing some videos of like people bashing like black cops, and this black cop just ranted. He's like, I got a 5-year-old at home. Like they have kids, and they're worried. They have kids because people are just being outrageous and just smashing people and killing people.
There are so many cops who you see who they're genuinely good cops, and they are there to try to make a change from the inside. But because of the actions of a few, and it is a few, it's not. Considering how many cops, you look at how many cops there are in America, if every single one of them was like Chauvin, it would just be mass murder. But they're not. But you can see so many of them where, like, this guy was involved in 6 over his time. The main one who sat on his neck, he's been involved in 6 murders. And this is the first time he's going to be charged. But you have so many...
Yeah, go ahead. You're all good.
All right. But there's so many good ones. Like I've shared so many videos this week of good police departments. The Atlanta head of chief of police, I think it is, was out in the middle of a protest, meeting everybody who was protesting, saying, "You all have a right to be here. You have a right to have your voice be heard." This is a white woman, by the way. I can't remember her name now. I think it's something Fields. And she was out meeting every single person, and she said, "You can be here all night if you want to. You don't have to go home." Obviously, things did kind of turn a bit violent at night, but while she was there, she said it was peaceful. And then she basically said that they have every right to be there. Then there was, what was it? Flint, Michigan. their sheriff put down his baton, put down his helmet, and marched with them.
They put down all their helmets. Everyone that was
what?
Yeah, they all put down their batons and everything.
Started protesting with them.
Yeah.
I
will. Maybe I will send you the video later. Actually, wait.
Definitely, you can send me a link later.
Actually, wait. I'll see if I can find it on here, and then I can actually I can watch it with you guys. So
okay.
Hang on. There's a way of
for the YouTube video I'm gonna post about this. I'm going to implement clips into the parts of the video that we're referencing to, so it can be better understood.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I will. I don't know. For some reason, it's not letting me screen share. Oh,
wow.
Oh, right. No, there we go. I had to go out full screen. I will. Here we go.
Wow.
So can you see my Twitter now?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Let me turn this off.
I will go onto my. Wait, where's my profile? There we go. Nope. There we go. Right. So one of the videos I shared. Here we go.
Yep. This video.
Don't think for a second that he represents who these cops are from all over the county and around the station. We go out there to help people, not do that nonsense. So I just want to tell you, where's my man? Right there. Where's the gentleman?
Wow.
I'm just gonna tell you. We want to be with you.
Yep, they put he put his
hold
back
on.
down, he put his
Hold on.
down.
Go ahead.
I want to make this a parade. So listen, I'm just telling you, these cops love you. That cop over there hugs people, so you tell us what you need to do.
Walk with us! Walk with us! Walk with us!
Wow, man.
Walk with us! Walk with us! Walk with us!
That's what I'm talking about, man. That makes me happy inside, man.
That's the type of policing that we need. I'll show you. Wait, what is
it? Definitely, man. That makes me happy right there. Just to see that image, see that video, to see people getting together like that.
Right, I will show you. There's a couple of others as well. So that was Flint. This was New Jersey. They had. No wait. Oh yeah, New Jersey PD.
Wow. That is nice.
And
I'm really hoping to see some protests in my city, because I'm definitely going to be out there.
And then you had... Wait, which one was it? I'm sure there's somewhere. Here we go. Atlanta.
I have a son who's 31. I've got a son who's 15, all right? And I have to have these conversations all the time. So we're not telling y'all to leave. What was going on up here was wrong.
This guy's name, by the way, is Murphy. So Officer Murphy of the Atlanta PD.
Stop. The loudspeaker, the yakking and the yapping. We said pause. Let these people remain here. Let them stay in the street. Let them express their grievances, because you have a right to be pissed off.
Well, over there, they don't feel the same way.
That's why I told them to shut the fuck up.
There we go.
Damn! Man, that feels great.
You need to get that energy to some of your... One at a time, my brother. One at a time. Real talk. They got in them locker rooms, and y'all need to be fucking them up every day. You're right. One at a time. Absolutely right.
I want to hear all y'all say some shit like that.
Man.
And then there was... Where was it?
Wow. And I really appreciate you voicing your opinion and sharing these things, bro. It's just so powerful, man. Like, you have an audience, and a lot of people who have an audience, they just want to post memes and TikToks while all this is going on, man. And they turn them blind eyes. So I really want to say a shout out to you, bro. Honestly.
Stop sharing my screen. Right, my webcam will come on. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, I don't really have that big an audience, but I will use whatever platform I have to be able to fight that. I mean, I have donated.
How many subscribers do you have?
I have, honestly. Okay, so here's my other question as well, right? So obviously there's levels of privilege, right? Now I am well aware that I, being a straight white male, am so privileged, right? I don't have to worry about anything that you do. But what can I do, and everybody watching who is white or anything who isn't you, do to help to fight this injustice?
If you can, man, get out there, man. Show empathy. Show that you care about us as humans. Like, as far as like everyone, don't just march just because. Don't march and make it, and just because it's a trend or it's happening at the moment. March because you care, man. March because you feel the emotions that the world is going through.
Just share your voice.
Because stuff is still happening out here. It's just it's just being recorded more. And that's something that Will Smith said. I don't know it word for word, but that's something he touched on. And a lot of these celebrities, I appreciate them too, because since a lot of people don't have a voice or they rather not voice their opinion, there's celebrities who they admire talking about it, and it makes them think, okay, it's easier for me to talk about it too now. People get more comfortable when they see somebody else talking about it too. So that makes us a part of this whole revolution too, by sitting here speaking out on it and me recording the video. So I would say treat everybody as you want to be treated, and focus on evolving your mind. Focus on reading books and taking time out for yourself to understand yourself, so that way you don't make the actions that kind of taint your image.
Yeah. Another point here, the peaceful protests had undercover cops in there too. Have you seen the pictures? They're wearing armbands, and they're all the same colour. So you had the first day they were wearing white armbands, and that's how you could tell that they were an undercover cop. And they were going around smashing stuff, and they were trying to trying to incite violence. Some of them.
Wow.
They were the reason. So there was a Target. I think it was a Target, and there were people wearing the armbands that were like smashing the stores. But then you also have Antifa as well. Now I like the idea of Antifa, but the way that they go about it is all wrong.
Can you elaborate on them?
So Antifa have been like going around like spray painting walls and stuff and like damaging buildings. Obviously their message is to try to like stop everything that happens against. So they've got the right message, they're just going about it the wrong way.
I understand. Man, so that means like a lot of these buildings that are being set on fire, or even busted windows, you never know who could be doing it, so it's kind of like
most of the violence has actually been started by white people, which is ironic.
Wow.
Like a majority of so either it's the cops coming in, and like there was a scene in New York yesterday which is horrifying, where you've got some protesters sat down, police march in on them, and then just literally start trampling on them as if they're not there and like kicking them down and everything.
I saw a video about an hour ago. It was two almost SUV cars, police cars.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran over the people behind this barricade, this metal gate. I said, bro, that
was hard to watch, that video. The fact
and then
that
it just stopped. I didn't see the whole thing. It kind of stopped after he started, like actually revving the engine and pushing forward on them.
Yeah, so they were stopped. So they were driving slowly. The protesters came and put the barrier in front, which I don't condone that. Don't get in the way of police cars. They could have been going to anything. They could have been going to an emergency. But he stopped with the barriers, and then the second car comes along to the side, and then the first car just rams through. And luckily, I don't think anybody was seriously hurt. But the police officer in that car has to be arrested.
Yeah. Hey, man,
I don't That's attempted murder.
That's not an accident. That is not an accident.
Not an accident. That is solely on purpose.
Yeah, he could so easily have reversed and gone a different way.
So he could have stopped the car immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no space for him. There's no explanation for those actions, man. There's no explanation.
I don't know how he's going to get out of that one. I don't even think that if they're even going to know who it is who was driving the car. The only thing that they can do is find the license plate and then find out who it was who was driving the car at the time. But then the police will probably try and cover it up. Because from what I've seen, NYPD has been the absolute worst of the lot. NYPD and LAPD have just been horrific in their handling of this. Atlanta PD, Flint PD, or I don't know if there's Flint PD or Michigan, whatever they're called, have been fantastic. And then New York and LA have just been awful.
They're major cities. So there's going to be a lot of people protesting. Right, and it's going to be hard for the police to just kind of control the big crowd. That they even set like a limit to be outside or at night, like till 8 p.m. I think it was. I seen it on the news. They can only be out till 8 p.m.
Yeah,
but there were still people protesting, further notice, further.
But then I do think I do think as long as people keep the protests peaceful, the police shouldn't. I mean, obviously after curfew, yeah, I get that they have to enforce curfew, but if they're gonna during the day, those New York ones were during the day, and if as long as people are keeping it peaceful, I don't think that the police need to be going around hitting people and pepper spraying them. And there was another guy as well. He had a mask on, and he was stood there, hands up, with a mask on, and the cop comes up, pulls the mask down, pepper sprays him. Yeah.
Seen that. I have a question. It's kind of bouncing back to what we were talking about at first, but as it kind of mixes in, as these people are marching together, I mean, don't you think all the people marching together, wouldn't that cause more corona cases in those cities? Shouldn't people be freaking dying right now? Since we're all together, and I mean, they say 8 people is a max or something like that, right? I mean, this is hundreds of people we're talking about.
This is thousands.
In 3 weeks' time, there will be a massive spike of cases, because you got to bear in mind it's not like people would be dying instantly from this. People would be.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks' time, there will be a massive rise in cases.
And if there isn't, what do you think that indicates?
That a lot of people in New York already had the disease. It'll be. I mean, in fairness, New York is basically riddled in it anyway. So
yeah,
with people going out and living their lives as normal anyway, I don't think it will have as much of an impact as people in the UK.
I think the UK is really a whole different point of view that me and Rainer cannot view, because I don't really get to see the faces or how people articulate certain situations or view perspectives. So I can't really.
I think like any society, though, you have very mixed opinions on it. So you have those people like you have in the US where they're like, oh, it's nothing to worry about, and then you have those on the other side of it where it's like, well, I'm not going to take any chances, and then you also have those who are absolutely petrified of it. Like I'm not scared of it. For me, I'm scared of it for my mum and for anybody at work who I might be passing it on to. Like if I pass it on to somebody who happens to either have or live with somebody who has a respiratory disease, I'm then indirectly responsible for them when I could have stayed away from them.
See, that's what it finds interesting, because me and JJ are from a completely different country while you're on a completely different country, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we want to see everything from your point of view, because everything you hear is crazy. There's a lot of things going on that we can't control, and that we see blatantly in our own, and we see it on our news and everything. It's weird, coming from you. It's interesting.
I feel like as well with regards to Black Lives Matter, it's not just a USA thing. We have it in the UK as well. There was a guy the other day who got drug searched just literally for being in the area and being black, and he got drug searched, and he's a paramedic, and that still didn't stop them from stopping him. Like he's going to be one of the most upstanding people that you will ever find, and they went and did a full drug search because they'd heard that there was a drug dealer, so they instantly just went, black guy, search him. like that's how if they had guns, if we had guns in the UK, if our police had guns, he would be dead right now. That's the reality of it. Like that's the prejudice that we, as much as we in the UK go, America has a real bad problem. You have a worse problem because you have guns, but we still have the prejudice problem in the UK.
Yep.
And it's something that both countries need to fix.
Do you think, since you guys don't have guns there that much, do you think it's more brutal or it's more police brutality?
I mean, it doesn't
Like
really tend to get out of
or
control here, because if you're in America, like, you can just shoot somebody. Here, you know, you get the police. I don't even know if the police who stopped him actually had like batons. I don't know if they do, but I feel like when it does escalate, it normally involves calling backup, restraining, and then trying to put them in the cells as quickly as they can. That's literally the worst it gets. Unless they actually, like, they have to see a knife or see a weapon before they're like, okay, let's call in armed police.
Yeah.
But for the most part, or they might taser them, but that's the worst it gets. Whereas in the US, if things escalate, literally you have either 4 cops all kneeling in somebody's neck, apparently, or or you have 4, or you know, you just shoot them. It's just instant. Like that's it's just quickly over with quickly that way. But for us in the UK, obviously, it has to have that kind of gentler progression, because we don't have our police don't have guns. Which all I have to say is thank God we don't have guns, because otherwise we would be, because as a nation we get angry over every little thing, right? Like somebody jumps in the queue, start a fight. It's like that. But if we did that and we had guns, there'd be a hell of a lot of people from gun violence.
Wow. And you guys grow up different, you know. I can't. It's so like diverse as far as like how. I mean, I know we've both grown up doing certain things and the same things, but the things we were taught in school, like there's a lot of things I probably learned in school that you didn't learn, and things that I didn't learn that you learned in school, and you know, ways we were taught things. So it's crazy, man.
One example of the biggest differences is I'm not taught that when a police officer says something, to do it as they say or fear for my life. And I feel like that's partly a USA versus UK thing. Like, I don't think anybody here, even, like, the worst that happens is you'll get a trial in the UK. Whereas if I was in the US, I would be taught that, like, if there's somebody, I mean, I would imagine I'd be taught if there's somebody who is black and they're being stopped by the police, to not necessarily get involved, but try to de-escalate it in a way. Obviously, I know that's not my place, but as a civilian, obviously it's supposed to be between them.
Yeah.
But, like, I would imagine that you had to talk from probably like 2 or 3 years old, where it's like you're going to be treated differently because of the color of your skin.
Yeah, I put my whole perspective in your shoes, by viewing that. Yeah, I understand that. Like, growing up being told different things from parents, you know, like how, like when you go outside and stuff like that, like, you know, like what mom has to tell you before you go outside. We've been told different things, you know, like.
And there was a video I saw. What was the guy's name? Was it Arbery? It was like Ahmed Arbery, I think it was, or something. The last guy, I think it was I'm not sure if it was in Georgia. He got shot and killed by the police. And there was a video where he got shot in front of his girlfriend and his 4-year-old daughter. And there's a video which his 4-year-old daughter was like, because his girlfriend was screaming screaming obscenities, we'll say, the F word, and, you know, because obviously she's just seen her boyfriend getting shot by the police, and she's in the car screaming out the F word, and then the daughter goes, "Don't shout, I don't want them to shoot you too."
Yep, I seen that. They're in the back of the car.
Yeah, in back of the police car, and his daughter, who is 4 years old, knows that because of the color of her skin, she could get shot.
She was telling her mom not to move, not to shout or scream.
And then she was like, "I'll protect you."
Yep. When she hugged her mom.
Man, that's crazy. You know, I was talking about this yesterday, and I was saying how like how like I guess you could say the overall look of policemen has been like, you know, tainted, whether it's because of the truth or because of like because of the things that we have in our head or the thoughts. Like, you know, when I'm in LA or just like naturally like cops, like, you know, when I'm around them or if I'm chilling somewhere and I'm relaxed and then they show up, it's instantly I'm in a defensive mood, you know? It's like you can't turn your back, you can't stop to be like, okay, we're all good. Like, I don't know. It's just a natural instinct that I have that I've like really thought about. I mean, but being in peace, I don't do it anymore. But you know, I can look back and think to myself like, I know how they feel. As far as like just not feeling like you're safe. Like if it's nighttime and the police car like rides past, you're like, oh shit, and you cannot even do anything, but you're like, oh shit, it's a cop.
Your
Yeah.
whole mood changes.
Yeah.
That's the worst part, I think, is the fact that like you literally don't even have to be doing anything, and you're still there going, oh shit, like what happens if they
Like you just sold some drugs and you didn't even sell anything. You're just like you're instantly creeped out. You're just like you just don't want anything to do with it.
and that's something that
Because that's what social media brought us as a society.
I think it was more the awareness of it rather than the fear.
Yeah, awareness.
I feel like
it-
the fear should have been, not necessarily should have been there. The fear should never have been there, but the fear I feel would have already been there. But I think that like now it's just more escalated and more
it's more
aware.
awareness now. Cause I'm not. It's not a scary type of thing. It's just like you close your eyes and you can still feel where they're going. Like that's how much. That's the level of awareness that you have really. And man, and I'm not even the type of person who has had a lot of encounters with bad police. I mean, I've had probably 2 or 3, but to know game bangers or to know people who've been in jail, who's on probation, who's really trying to stay away from them, or the people who have been beat like in a cell, you know, they have to deal with worse than me. So it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
So we have another comment. This music fills my life. I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Have you guys watched that?
I don't watch it.
Brooklyn. Oh, such a good show. And season 4, episode 16 is amazing about how black people can be treated differently. They tackled a tough subject in an amazing way, including children asking about it. It was that episode I remember was such a good episode. So basically, Terry, who's like, you know Terry Crews?
Yep.
So he's out in the street, right? He's literally, it's nighttime. He's in the neighborhood. He's literally just out looking for his daughter's toy because she had chucked it out while Jake was driving her back, and Terry was just out on the street in his neighborhood outside his house. Like I think it was like 2-3 blocks away, picking up the toy when a white police officer, comes up and says, and is like, you know, what are you doing? And it escalated to the point where the police was holding him at gunpoint, and he was like, you know, I can't remember what it was he said now, but he was holding him at gunpoint before the situation got de-escalated because he was like showing him, I think he asked for ID or something, but he was holding a gun at him, and then the police officer apologized for the fact that he was, and I feel like this is amazingly relevant considering the fact that it happened in New York as well, and the police officer asked, what was it? So yeah, he apologized for the fact that he pulled a cop over, not the fact that he pulled over a black man. Right? It wasn't the fact that he had the prejudice. It was the fact that he got caught pulling over a cop. And then you have his twin daughters who are like 4 or 5 years old are asking these questions to Jake and Amy, and they're like, oh, you know, are we gonna get in trouble, or is Daddy gonna get in trouble, and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, that's so relevant and so powerful for today. There's another show I watch as well, which is Man Like Mobeen, and it's set in the UK. And there's and at the beginning, the cops pull them over. There's 2 Muslims, 2 like Asian Muslims, and one. I mean, they're all born and raised in the UK, and then one black guy, and the black guy runs off as soon as the police arrive, and then they're like, well, where's he going? And it's like, yeah, history doesn't exactly bode well for the black guy with you guys.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shows which point it out, and I feel like it's important that people do keep pointing it out and do keep talking about it as well.
Man, how do you feel, Rainer, so far, man?
It's ridiculous that people will have to be like racist, and everybody should be the same. Everyone should be treated the same. You know,
We're all the same
not
on the inside.
picked out different, or like not be picked out different for a different like skin tone. Like it's crazy that people just like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Another thing is like when me and Rainer play Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I swear to you, this. It's like people are dropping M-bombs every single game. It's like you go into a random lobby and Rainer can't be talking and they'll call him like the N-word easily, and it's just like, wait, what?
They'll just call me the N-word. I'll be like,
like how? You know, it's just like I've seen a lot of toxicity over this whole quarantine effect with the gaming. Like even the people in the gaming lobbies are just like, you know, like they're just even more racist than normal. I'm like, wow. It's to the point where it makes you not even want to do content on that game specifically because of that. Because trying to create content on it or go pro, you had to deal with that or mute everybody in the lobby, you know? It's like and we're goofy. We're always laughing and stuff.
I would just mute it, to be honest. I would just mute everybody else. That's what I would do when I'm playing them games.
Yeah, I understand that for sure.
You gotta get a feel for, you know what I mean? Like you gotta get a feel for the people around you.
Yeah. I mean, when I play,
if they're not saying the N-word, then it's cool. Like we can have fun. But if they're just like so toxic, I can just feel the toxic. And it does. That's when it occasionally does. Is when the toxicity just gets so real. You know what I mean? Or where me and Jay are goofy. We say something and we're like making fun of kids, and they're just like, oh, like just N-word after N-word after N-word, just nonstop. It's like it's crazy that it's just the world is so diverse, and there's just so many different people and races, and everyone should just be the same.
And that puts me nicely into the comment. To put it simply, if you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. Doesn't matter what your skin color is, it's how you are as a person.
Exactly.
Shout out to that person who said that. Who said that, man?
That was This Music Fills My Life Again.
That is nice. You know, when you were first saying his name, I thought he was commenting on some music you were playing in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does he keep saying that, man?
He said this music feels so nice, and I'm like,
come on, man.
I'm actually not playing any. I'm actually not playing any music in the background, but
yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, because I'm all like, I'm about to text you like, Curtis, you said that like 3 times, bro. But yeah, honestly, he's telling the truth. He or she is telling the truth. I feel like the world is never gonna be the same again after this. This is really a big change. I feel like I'm excited to see how we progress, like as humans after this. You know,
I feel like this is definitely a change for the better. This whole thing, because there's another thing as well. I've just remembered. Did you see the guy with the bow and arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was a guy. He got so he actually pulled up at one protest, and it was in the same protest twice. But he pulled up at one with a machete and started like waving it around. I mean, he didn't like start actually aiming at anybody, but he just pulled it out so people could see it. Yeah, so not even that. He just had it in his hand. As he was going and having to go at somebody, got back in the car, pulled up at the same protest later. I think people were like hitting his. I don't know if they were hitting his car or what, but he got out the car. So the video started as he had just got out the car, and he pulled out a bow and arrow, started aiming it at people, and eventually they got stopped. He goes on the news and he's like, "Oh, you know, these two black people stopped, attacked me." It wasn't even black people; it was white people who beat the crap out of him, basically.
Wow.
It was like 14 white people stopped him because he was pointing a bow and arrow. There's
He
like
needs
14
jail
people.
time instantly.
Yes, exactly. But I don't think he got it. And do you know who? Oh, I know who that. Right, I've just had a message off the person who is This Music Fills My Life. I know who they are. Yeah, somebody who I went to school with. Hi, Lucy. So now if I say it's Lucy, that's who it is. But yeah, so
That's funny.
So yeah, no, they just pulled out a bow and arrow and just started aiming it at people who were in the vicinity. Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I was saying, I don't know. I mean, who knows if that was one of their investigators or people, instigators, or, like, who knows if it's one of them, Like, it's crazy to just
People
think about.
just think that it's another person just pointing a bow and arrow at someone.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, in America you have guns. So he decides bow and arrow.
Yeah, I don't understand why a bow and arrow.
I mean, I think he would be shot. I mean, bow and arrow, that's kind of more like.
It's more personal than a gun.
Bland, Like it's more personal and bland. I mean, because to go out there with a pistol, you're gonna get shot instantly. You're gonna get shot. So to think to bring a machete and a bow and arrow is something that I kind of ponder on.
He has to be at least clinically insane, like. To be able to sit there, and the thing is, he pointed it at somebody who was on the ground. Yeah, he was pointing at people.
Someone could just pull out a pistol and just shoot him.
So someone ran towards him, fell on the ground, and he pointed the bow and arrow at them. And you could hear what sounded, I don't know for sure, but you could hear what sounded like he let the arrow go. But the camera wasn't quite in the right place or anything. So I don't know but there was no reports of anybody actually getting killed from that. So I don't think he actually did get them properly anyway. Lucy's put, I really hope this will make things different. Things need to change, and if this doesn't cause a change, I don't think anything will. I can't think of anything else that would.
That's another thing too. I'm also excited to see if people will revert. Because if people revert after this, I think a lot of people are going to lose hope in humanity. Yep. I feel like
the whole thing has literally made me just want to go to America, find every black person and just give them a hug and be like, you know what, things will change. But then at the same time, like I wouldn't be able to make that promise because
there's always that little thing in the back of your head that just says things will never change.
Yeah,
they'll never change. What happens.
This has been a fight that's been going on for like 200 years.
Man.
And we're now at the point where, going. Yeah, it's either this or it's just going to keep going.
If this can't happen, nothing can.
I think I think it'll get gory if it doesn't. Like seriously to the point where police are out here dying. I think
it's going to be the point where we might have a civil war.
Because think about this.
Brink of it now.
There are gangsters and gangbangers out here in gangs. That if the community gets them together to start hunting down ex-police officers and stuff like that who are hurting black people because we're still trying to be peaceful. Yeah, people are burning down buildings, and I don't know who's really burning down the buildings, but I'm saying
I feel like there is a mixture there.
Yeah, and I feel like they're not completely trying to kill someone else because we're not even out here trying to kill because somebody got killed due to whatever happened. But I feel like if it gets to that point and we revert and it still happens, people are going to be getting shot and assassinated. That's kind of how I feel.
There's been snipers on rooftops as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that with
lasers blatantly on people's shirts and just pointing at people blatantly.
Yeah, and I made a decision not to take a step off of social media. Even though it's all of the depression and stuff, I want to see this,
Yeah,
you want to.
It's one of them where you have to voice your opinion and you have to do something to get it across. Then at the same time, it's really bad for your mental health.
Yeah, it's really bad. You know, I couldn't even sleep the other night. I was up until 6 a.m. I was just
Jesus.
like, I had dreams. I no lie. I had a dream about the whole thing that I saw on the internet. I literally had a dream, and I knew I was in a dream, and I was just sitting there watching, you know, like. And I woke up and like I probably slept for 30 minutes, and woke up was like, man, this is bad.
If
had
anything happens to you, was it Virginia you're from?
I'm from LA, Los Angeles.
What,
I'm
where
in
you live
Indiana
now?
right now.
Oh, Indiana. If anything happens to you, I'm coming to Indiana. I'm finding the cop that did it, and I'm gonna beat their ass.
I'll be fine, man. I'll be fine. Hey, I feel like, maybe, I don't really know, man. I can't even say
Yeah.
I would say, me trying to save the world, you never know what might happen, man. Because I really have dedicated myself to saving the world. And, like, I made a promise to XXXTentacion, Jase Onfroy, that I would, continue what he started.
Did you actually meet him then?
No, I sent them a bunch of messages when he first got out, 2017.
Oh, right.
And I followed him the whole time. And, I would always listen to certain music and see how diverse he was. So I made a promise to him too, and it's like
that's one of the things that I really want to have a bigger platform for, is so that when it comes to things like this, I can post things on Twitter or Instagram or something, and just more people will see it, and then more people will hear the message. But
and they'll support him.
Yeah. How do you I had a question. How do you feel about people who turn a blind eye towards the situation? How do you guys feel?
Okay, are we talking white people or black people or both?
No, people in general. Yeah,
people in general. Okay.
Turn a blind
eye. For me, it partly depends. If there's somebody who is just kind of ignorant to the situation, so if there's somebody, this is, for the most part, for most people, they have no reason not to be posting something about it. But I feel like there's some people where it might perhaps be a bit personal, maybe, like if, say you're somebody whose family's been a victim of it. Right? Or not necessarily family, but you've had a close friend. Say so different people react to different things in different ways. Mm-hmm. If you're in the grieving process, everybody reacts differently. And if you are somebody who has just lost a close friend, say for example, George Floyd's friends, right? If any of them shut down and just went, I'm not going to talk about it, I would be 100% behind them choosing that method if that's what gets them through it. If you are somebody who doesn't necessarily know somebody personally, but you choose not to say anything, I feel like that then is either ignorance or racism. And for me, at this point, for the most part, you are either on the side of the oppressor, aka the police, or the system in general, or or you are on the side of those who are being oppressed,
citizens.
Yeah,
definitely.
Or for the most part, black people, right? Like for the most part, yeah. I mean, in the UK, I don't know if you guys, if you guys say black people, so
yeah, definitely. We say black people, African American. We say, I'm mixed, so it's kind of like. African American.
If I say African Americans, that would kind of be excluding the UK as well. But we have the same issue here, just not to the extent of, so black people in general. But then the thing is, if you go to other countries, and this isn't me saying, oh, woe is me, right? But like in the Western world, black people are treated as inferior, not by the majority, but by the system. They're treated as inferior, even though they're not. Everybody's equal. It just depends on who you are as a person. But if in some other countries they might do it the other way, and I feel like that is something that needs to be talked about as well, but not as much. So in say for example, although I'm trying to think of an example of it. I'm saying it may happen. I don't actually know if it does happen. But say for example, because I'm trying to think. I know if you go to countries like Ghana and that, right, like everybody there is treated fairly. Everybody, if I was to go to Ghana, I would be treated exactly the same way as them, and they would, in their tribes, they would welcome you and everything. But in some countries, it may happen. I know, for example, in Dubai, you're not allowed to be gay. In the United Arab Emirates. So, but it's this. Mistreating black people seems to be mostly a Western problem, and I can't work out how we're there going like, oh, we're first world, we're so much more advanced than them, but yeah, we're also so much more regressive than other countries.
That is very true.
Wow. I'm getting lost in the conversation sometimes. I'm like, wow, man, this is something I really like. I haven't done before, and I feel like it's an honor to be a part of it.
Well, I'm glad that we actually had this discussion with you two, because I feel like it's very much
being
a variety
able to
of opinions.
Back and forth from 3 different minds is crazy.
Yeah.
Getting from
imagine if we had a fourth person as well.
Yeah,
we should
we're
add
basically all one mind.
It's wild, man. I was gonna say, oh, me and Rainer were on Modern Warfare one time, and I have the video. We were playing against some guys in a lobby, like a search and destroy, right? And they were racist, and they were just dropping N-bombs back and forth like between the intermissions of the rounds. And after the match, we played with the same guys, and we rematched them 2v2, like gunfight. And his friend left after they lost, and the guy who we remained with, he was a racist guy's friend, and he was saying that, like, it's only to a certain point where I can control him, not to be racist. And he was saying, like, he turned out to be like an actually like loving guy, and it was kind of surprising to see us, turn to see the other side of the table, because we never heard a white person actually saying, like, man, I mean, sometimes it just gets like that, or like it's only to a certain point where we can control him. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, Rainer.
That was cool. He definitely was like, it was cool to see him back to like not being racist, because his friend being able to not be able to control someone that's racist, that's crazy.
The guy he was talking to, did he drop any N-bombs?
No,
it was just his friend.
I don't think so.
Yeah, just his friend. He was like, yeah, man, I wasn't saying that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and he actually like supported us in a way. He actually went to our channel and subscribed.
Oh, really?
Like,
yeah.
You're cool. You guys are cool, and added us as a friend actually. And
He said,
do you still talk to him?
He said, "I'm gonna go talk to my friend, and I'm gonna make everything clear."
Me and Rainer are just
good
like,
night,
man,
and
just do that for us, bro. We were like, just do it for us.
He told us that he wanted us to have a good night, bro.
So it was kind of surprising,
Being able to turn someone from racist, to revert someone from racism to just cool, and being able to understand us and where we come from is cool.
Wait, so was it the guy who was initially racist? Did you say you talked to him afterwards?
No, his friend. Just
his friend.
Yeah.
So his friend wasn't actually the one who was being racist to begin with, but he was there kind of
just basically playing with and talking, basically like talking shit back and forth. And he's like, yeah, man, I just, you hop on COD and you just get in that mode, and we're like, okay, we don't understand that completely, but we're trying to acknowledge the fact that you actually care. It's crazy. That was an experience where it just kind of blew me away.
Do you know if he still talks to the guy?
In this mode.
Do you know if he still talks to the guy?
No, we don't know.
Don't know.
I would love to talk.
I would actually.
Into this mode.
Is he part of your Discord? Is he one of the guys who's part of your Discord?
Nah.
Right. Random guy we met.
It was just one of those moments where he was just, like we we didn't connect on Instagram or anything. It was just like we were just telling
We just
men.
connected verbally.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought you said that you messaged him afterwards or something.
No,
We talked to him afterwards after the game, but we didn't contact him.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But
I was
that
going
was
to say,
crazy.
because I would actually quite be interested to hear what happened after that, like whether they're still friends or what. Because personally, if I knew somebody who was dropping the N-bomb, who was white, obviously, black guy, like completely different. But if I knew any of my friends regularly dropped N-bombs, I would be so annoyed with them. I would genuinely, I would start off by telling them, like, do you know what you're saying? And, you know, say to them, and this is another thing as well, what if you could give advice to somebody in that situation, what would your advice be? Because for me personally, I would tell them to stop it, and then if they refuse to stop it, then I'd be like, right now, I'm done with you.
This is how I feel ultimately, man, about this. I mean, some other people who are black or African American, I feel like some people feel different, but for me, I feel like if you're saying it's intention, and then also what you're saying, because some people say, you know, like nigga, they say it like that, and then you know the. So basically, I feel like I tell my homie like, bro, you're good with me. If you say nigga, I'm chilling. I'm like, yeah, bro, you know, because it's intention behind it, and then it's what they mean by it, like. You know, and I even try to stop myself from saying it. You know, I try to, because I'm sitting here trying to work on self-development. So for kids or for the community that I involve myself with, I try to stop saying it. Even as a black person, even though I'm just like, yeah, I could say it all day, but I'm even trying to stop it, you know? So I feel like for me, as long as those intentions are powerful and it's just, you know, it's all love and you're just like greeting that person, like if I greeted you like, yo, what's up, my nigga, or whatever, then that's cool with me. You know, that's how I feel. And some people can have different perspectives. But I tell my homie all the time, like, bro, like in the morning, like we started saying man instead of nigga. Like that's, you know, we're like, oh, what's good, man? We're just like, hey, man. Like all the time.
That sounds so much better.
Yeah, we'd be like,
hey, man. We'd be like, good morning, man. It's just funny. So to be able to transfer that energy and make something good out of it and be able to change for the better.
So
that's how
what do you think about? Do you know who KSI is?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do know him. Okay. What do you think about people like him who have like this massive platform, using it and saying the word?
He's able to control so much. He's able to control his community, or have a control over it, because he has such a large platform that he can speak his mind and people will follow through with it.
Yeah.
You know, having a big platform, you can speak your mind mentally and physically, and people will follow through and support you with it.
So do you think he
disagree.
should, or do you think it's okay him saying it, or do you think he shouldn't say it? With him having such a large platform.
I think if it's him, then it's him. You know,
I think if everybody has a voice, they can always talk.
So I feel like the people who follow him, I mean, because there aren't people who sign a paper like I have to listen to this person, you know. So they view his videos, and I feel like if he wanted to teach himself to stop saying nigga or anything like that, I feel like he could. But some people grow up doing it all the time, and some people don't stop saying it. And I feel like as long as he's not sitting there bashing someone in a negative way or calling or just throwing slang words out there, just like no racial slurs, then I feel like he's great, you know. And it really depends on what he's doing as a person. To help people mentally or physically in the community.
I would say he's doing a lot of good. I think he's raised a lot of money for charity over the years and stuff. So yeah, I would say he's doing.
Especially from his boxing career, he's definitely donated for charities.
Yes, with his boxing stuff, I think certainly his YouTube boxing, I think majority of it went to charity, and then he beat up Logan Paul. So.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Happy with that one.
That was something I've never seen.
Oh,
Next up is Jake Paul.
Yes, I can't wait for that one. So are you team JJ or are you team Jake?
JJ all the way.
Yeah, I mean JJ Reeds, you know what I'm saying? But no, seriously, I just want to see. I want to see it end up being an experience for everyone. I don't really care who wins. I really just want to see people being happy afterwards and understanding that it's all about being a good sport.
I think after what Jake did yesterday, yesterday for you guys, it's completely reignited my wanting to see him get in his face.
Yeah.
He's smashed in.
After him doing target,
people like him and Antifa, and they've completely hijacked the message of the Black Lives Matter. So for me,
and people actually support him for doing that. They find it cool.
I mean, I haven't actually seen any positive comments on that yet, but
you can't really see the age range behind all the supporters. So who knows if it's little kids? Because a lot of little kids watch.
But then that's worrying if it's little kids, because then there are people who's going to see that, follow him blindly, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's all right."
That's tough too. Yeah, that's really tough actually. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure he has kids for his audience also, like a good percentage. So
yeah,
that's even worse. You know, it kind of tells them that it's okay. Yeah, like you said.
And the worst part is it was actually all recorded and put on someone's Instagram story as well. So it's like it's there for everybody to see. Meanwhile, Logan was
That's just ridiculous.
Which, by the way, even though I hated Logan for a while, I do feel like he's had his redemption. In a way, he's self-improved. He's worked on himself a lot.
After the KSI and him boxing, there was positivity after the fight. You know what I mean?
There was a little bit of animosity between them. There was a little bit of like excuses.
It just turned to trolling.
Yeah. But then, did you see Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast as well, where him and Mike were talking about it? Man, the way Mike was talking about that was so passionate.
Man, I did not see that.
Oh,
you're gonna have to watch that.
So, are you guys trying to get? Oh, you probably gonna. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, Curtis, if you're gonna say something.
Oh no, that's fine. I was just gonna get it up, but.
Okay. So are you guys trying to? Do you feel like you guys are gonna dive deeper into the media to really understand, and witness a lot of things if you can get to the process? Do you feel like you want to see more of what's going on? Or do you just want to take care of? No. As far as like just how everybody's reacting to the situation now, and like posts and stories and stuff like that. Like, do you guys feel like you would want to see more? Like, do you feel like you would go on social media more now to witness it happen and really
understand more? People are posting. It depends what people are posting, if it's the negative side or the positivity side.
See,
it's definitely a difference.
First thing I've been doing when I wake up, because obviously when I'm asleep, it's still kind of your evenings. First thing I do when I wake up is look on Twitter to see what's happened with all the riots, the protests, and just see if I can find any more like that where I shared the stuff from the police departments this morning. That was the first thing I did when I wake up, was scroll through, look for what police departments are doing a good job, and see which ones are doing a not so good job. And that was literally the first thing I do. And then during the day, I then kind of switch my focus a little bit to what's going on in the UK with coronavirus. And then by the time it comes to evening, you guys are all kind of waking up and starting your protests again. So then by that point, I can then kind of scroll through and look at what's going on there again. I feel like that'll be my my routine for the next however long as well.
I'm thinking about doing a documentary. I have the camera, I have the tripod, the memory. I might, if I see a protest at least 2 hours away or 3, I might go ahead and just go down there and do what I do best as a YouTuber, man.
That's the experience, and that's history right there.
That's definitely history.
I will 100% be watching it if
it
does happen.
Yeah, you'll definitely be getting history on your camera. This is once in a lifetime.
You're right. I'm gonna go ahead and start doing some analyzation and seeing where I can go to get all this. I think I'm gonna do a lot of interviews and a lot of I'm gonna get a lot of marching. I wish I had my DSLR camera right now because I really would be able to get some high like 4K footage. But,
do you two live near each other, or do you like cross country?
Like
Kind of.
Yeah. He's kind of like a neighbor, like state neighbor.
Oh,
He's
right.
in Wisconsin. I'm in Indiana, so it's kind of like.
Are you? But
it's like
are
a-
you like close to the border ish? Both of you, or are you like quite far away? Because I know
I'm in the middle of Indiana, like yeah. And
that
he's
might be
like
quite far then.
I'm on the northwest top of Wisconsin,
yeah.
up here.
And Indiana's like the next state down, isn't it?
It's like down here, and then like Illinois is right here.
Yo, Rainer, are you right here, bro?
I'm right here.
You right here, Curtis?
No, I'm up top left for me.
Oh, I was about to punch you and him at the same time.
Yeah, there you
I can
go.
punch you right here. I can punch you right here.
Hang on, I have to
That's
go.
funny, but
I
yeah,
have to go, wait.
dang. But yeah, man, I'm really gonna try to catch that this week. I'm gonna go ahead and that'll be a good documentary.
Make sure
for
you're
me.
safe though. As soon as the police come, disperse. Because I don't know what the Indiana police are like, but certainly New York and LA, they are taking no shit.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. I'm gonna have to bring something, like a pistol in the
Hopefully-
car or something. I don't know.
Hopefully the
But-
Indiana police are a lot better and a lot more patient.
I haven't really had any run-ins with a lot of. I mean, I've had about two run-ins with police officers, and that's as far as like tickets. And I only had one ticket. The other guy let me go, and I had a broken headlight and everything. It was nighttime.
Oh, really?
I just try to stay away. I try to be like just passive when it comes to that. You know.
Yeah, it's probably the best way to be, but then some people, they are just minding their own business, and then they end up...
Yeah,
getting caught in
and
it.
it's
That's
still
the issue.
it's still getting handled. You know.
It
But
wouldn't
that's what I'm taught, you know, to be passive, you know, when it comes to cops and police. My mom always told me, stay out of trouble, don't be hanging out with them people over there. As far as like bad people, you know, obviously. And like she never wanted to see me in handcuffs, you know. So I never went to jail or anything.
There was a guy before, I can't remember what his name was, but he killed 9 people, right? White guy, killed 9 people, got arrested, right?
Was that the guy in the school?
I can't remember.
I've seen-
It was
It was a church. I think it was a church.
yeah, I
sure.
think it was a church in Texas, wasn't it?
That's crazy.
He killed all the black people in the church.
Yeah, and he got arrested, right? Taken in handcuffs. You know, no real issue there.
You know, because I would say this. Yeah, you can get angry at that at the same time, but then again, it's who's handling the situation.
Yeah,
You
like,
know, it's not. Yeah.
but then I think it comes down to that was over somebody literally murdering 9 people. George Floyd had a fake $20 bill.
Yeah,
And
I know.
it
It's
ended up
kinda-
escalating.
I just don't think. I mean, I know it could be compared. Okay, it's like this. It's kind of like the guy who killed George Floyd, and then me going in and saving a white person who shot 20 people. It's like they kind of. I don't know if you guys think that can be compared because it's like maybe the person who went to go who killed George Floyd, that's just like pure evil, and then me on the other hand who's like. Because I saw a picture of the police officer giving water to a person who just murdered 2 people, and I feel like it's the person dealing with the situation, and apparently that guy dealt with it wrong because there's good cops. Would you give a person who just murdered 2 people water after the fact when he's handcuffed?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, probably. Although I suppose you do have innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So it depends. Like if it's somebody who say if I had actual proof that it was him, I'd be like,
Yeah.
no, you're not getting water.
So if you don't know, would you? If you're sitting there before all that investigation and he's outside.
So
a car,
if I just pulled up to the scene and there was accusations and people were saying it was him, but I myself hadn't actually seen it, I probably would, because at the end of the day, people could be, lying.
So
but...
being captured in that moment and put in a photo. You see how people would get angry at that? You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm trying to?
But
What's your
then, but then
perspective?
I think it's more people being angry at the system rather than the individuals.
Yeah,
If you have a white guy murdered 9 people, and he's, I don't know, getting water, or he gets handcuffed and put away, like minimal issue.
injustice.
And then you have a guy who is trying to pay for something with a fake $20 bill. I don't know if it was fake or whether that was just something that was, because there's been rumors going around that it wasn't actually fake, and that's all it was. He was trying to pay with a fake $20, and afterwards, after he got told it was fake, he went and put the stuff back, but the police got called, and then he got arrested for apparently trying to commit forgery. I think it was.
It's just bad cops, man.
But isn't that also part of the system where, like, for me, shouldn't every cop have to have proper training and go through a full psych evaluation to find if they have them underlying prejudices where they are going to treat people differently?
Instead of putting money into SpaceX and all this NASA stuff, they should put more money into training police officers. And
true, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then another thing is with like all these high-end companies, bro. They should be helping the community out. Like, as far as like coronavirus, like where are all these people? Where are the celebrities when they need to come out and give food and help the people? I haven't really seen too many videos on celebrities coming out and spending $1,000 on just something so simple,
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I think there are quite a few celebrities who will donate without publicizing it, and I feel like there will be a lot of them that will. But I see that's another thing as well. I do hate this whole eat the rich thing that's going around at the moment. Anytime there's a celebrity who doesn't publicly do something to help out, they're then treated as if they're the villains.
Preconceived notions, yeah.
Yeah, but then I see companies like Amazon and Google, who I will admit I do use both of them, but yeah, they don't pay their taxes. Starbucks as well, companies like that. They don't pay their taxes. How much more could you do with tax? Or they don't have to pay enough tax for me. It's not that they refuse to pay it, it's that the government let them get away with not paying it. And how much more could the countries do, and this is US and UK, how much more could the countries do for tackling crises like coronaviruses, like the coronavirus, and this going on with Black Lives Matter? They could do so much more with that money if they made companies pay their tax.
Yeah. There's another video I want to share. It is, I think it was a community leader speaking up upon the situation, and I might have to send that to you, to be honest. But I'm probably gonna pop the clip in here because I'm gonna edit it too, and maybe you can post the video too. But she was explaining. She was basically like, it's hard to explain. I would just have to show you the video, to be honest. But I want to send that to you so you can look up on that, because I know like us sharing videos is really helpful right now, and everybody getting out every single opinion that everybody has. That's super powerful. So I'm gonna definitely send you that video afterwards.
I feel like communication is like the most important thing right now. When we were saying about
communication is definitely key.
When I was talking about the fact that there is good cops, I feel like right now the most important thing that American citizens can do is work with the good cops and find out the bad cops. Yeah,
definitely. Especially that video you showed me earlier, that was that was shocking for me.
Which one? There was quite a few.
The one where the one with Murray. Is it Murphy?
Oh, Murphy, yeah.
Yeah, that one was I was like, wow, that's extremely shocking. That's what I want to get out there. I want to see those faces and those expressions and how people are crying out for justice. And
yeah, that was the face of a guy and the words of a guy who is worried that his family might be mistreated.
Yep.
Man, honestly, this has been great so far.
Yeah, it's been how long has it been? Over an hour and a half.
Wow.
I mean, first 15 minutes we were talking about coronavirus, but that's still an hour and 15 minutes ish.
Yeah, it all kind of wraps into it. Also, I have a question.
Okay.
Would you let's say the power was shifted, right? and there was a new currency, and you go into the store, and everything you buy is just off of a name with no value to it as far as like the currency. Like would you rather go into a store with the new currency, or would you rather pay money? Like would you actually use the currency? Like for food and like let's say I start off with fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Would you go there or go to a grocery store like Kroger or Walmart?
I mean, personally, the store I work at is similar to a Walmart, so I would probably go there.
Instead of going to the store with the new currency and the fruits and vegetables. Like let's say if you were getting fruits and vegetables and you had a Walmart and you had a new store right there on the left side, which one would you enter to not even buy, but to kind of like, let's say like currency, your currency can be redeemed through good deeds and stuff like that, like civilized acts. And you had some points on there. Would you go in and get fruits and vegetables from that store or Walmart?
I mean, I like the idea of that, where you could just do good things, and then it's like, hey, here you go, have stuff. But I don't know. I suppose it depends on which one's more convenient, which one is the better store to use, I suppose.
Yeah, would you be open to doing that though? Like, you know?
I mean, yeah. As long as people would use it, that would be.
Yeah. Okay, that was just some idealist work that I came up with a while ago, so I just want to throw that out there and and then see your response.
What? So so people wouldn't actually have to use proper currency, but like people could say that could like so. But then, like, how would you prove that you've done these certain things?
It could all be analyzed and put into a certain way. There's always an answer to certain things, so there could be some type of way where you can be validated that you've done something, or or it isn't. It can be with community service or anything. If you want to just help clean a freeway as a group, or help clean the world, and then you get those points to get fruits and vegetables. Something like that, groceries or
no chocolate.
I mean, what people want. I mean, I recommend healthy stuff, but
I mean, I'm not a big fan of healthy stuff. Like I've literally sat here with a muffin, so.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah. I'll eat fruit. Most fruit I'll be fine with, but vegetables, nah. Only very few vegetables.
Yeah, I feel you on that 100%. I try to eat a lot of vegetables too. I had an apple yesterday and this morning, so that was nice. I mean, I've been vegan for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. So it's kind of like it's changed my life. I feel more active. I have a lot more energy. I can go to sleep for 3 hours and have a full battery. Like just waking up, just bouncing around.
I wish I could sleep for 3 hours and have a full battery.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. But sometimes I do have those mornings where I'm like, oh man, I just want to lay my head in the pillow. But I get up. But yeah, man, I can't wait to edit this video, honestly. And
So what do you think is going to be the outcome from this? Is it going to change, or do you think there's still more work to be done?
Honestly, I really can't tell right now. I can't tell. I'm hoping that it changes.
I feel like it would be so. For example, in the voting in November, do you think that enough people are going to be looking at this and going, "We don't want 4 more years of Trump because of this," or do you think that there will still be that systemic issue?
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I don't know, because as a people, we have to say to change something. So who knows what the people will want after this? Like what new terms will be set as far as what the people want.
Yeah, I was talking to someone. I was talking to someone this morning. I think that in order to get past this, you basically need to have a complete rewrite of the Constitution.
That's powerful.
I think you do. I think you need to start off by getting rid of. And I know that this is biased from a UK perspective. You need to ban guns, right? You might not agree with me, but You look at least ban assault weapons. They're called assault weapons for a reason. You don't need them for self-defense. But so obviously I'm going to get a lot of angry Americans when they see this video go, we have Second Amendment rights?
Yeah.
But for me, at the very least, assault weapons aren't needed. You know, your AK assault rifles and stuff like that. Like, I'm sorry, why do you need 60 rounds in a matter of seconds? Like, who are you killing that you need to shoot 60 times?
I don't know. That's that juggernaut motherfucker.
That's a big dude.
Dude, I really don't. I mean, you have a valid point, man. There's nobody you need. I mean, people say self-defense, yeah, but my man, I mean, I don't know. You know, some people think of the army. Some people think, you know, there'll be that one day where you need to fight off a whole army, or like, what if this overturns? And
I mean, I suppose right now would be that time.
Yeah,
right now
I mean, that would be the only time I'll need 60 bullets in 3 seconds, bro. Is if the army is just, you know, I've been taken over or like, jeopardized.
Just had somebody ask, do I live in America? No, I live in the east of England, Norwich. However, these two do. The other two guys, they both live in America, so I feel like I couldn't really have asked for anybody better to talk to than 2 Americans.
Man, right? Isn't that crazy? Rainy, you're funny, man. But
that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's super cool that you can take this outlook upon, like, you know, people who are actually like seeing this happen and
living,
you know, talking
the experience
to everybody.
of this whole rioting, everything going on.
I'm definitely gonna get out there.
Definitely be, if you do though, definitely be careful.
Yeah, I know.
Say, check the mood of the PD. If your PD come out and they're like, we're not going to take anything, then definitely get out of there.
Yeah, they've already broken windows of malls and stuff. You know, they closed down the mall earlier yesterday.
Was that because of rioters, or was that the police did that?
The rioters.
Rioters.
Yeah. So
they're even closing down the highways right because of rioting coming to here.
Really?
I feel like I kind of feel like they need to hurry up and charge all of them so people can stop rioting. They need to already have them in cells. So, because that's why people are so mad. So that I think that's why people are burning stuff and breaking windows, because they want all of them to be charged. And then the community leader who I saw speaking on the internet on Facebook, she was saying charge all criminals across the world. I mean, like across the nation, with, you know, like with whatever they have to do. You know, like she was saying, just do your job, as a police officer. I feel like that'd be the fastest approach. Just, you know, like why aren't they? I mean, as an investigation.
That is the one thing as well. I do think that that's the only way that this riot stops, is when all 4 of them are brought to justice. When all 4 of them are sentenced.
They want them, and they want them done.
Yeah, and like, at the end of the day, that's the end goal from it all, anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, and for them investigating, I mean, I don't see how much investigating you have to do. You know,
it's just self-explanatory.
Rewind all the camera footage, go over it. They've had plenty of time, you know, if it's that serious to them. You know?
I feel like the issue is that they have to do a full, thorough investigation and check like every detail, which will include going through the body cam footage, which obviously they don't have because conveniently the body cam was switched off. But that would normally be part of the investigation. And then obviously they then have to get the officer's side of like why he did, you know, X, Y, and Z. And
so you're saying all 4 police officers' body cams were switched off?
Yeah, because I think police in America, they're optional. I think
they can have it off or on.
Yeah, and all 4 of them, obviously they knew what they was doing.
All 4.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the situation if they want to turn it on or off. It's optional. They can do whatever they want.
That is crazy, bro.
I think they, if, for example, if they feel like their lives are in danger, I think they have to have it switched on.
Yeah, they have to
because
have it.
then they can have the evidence of what happened. But I think
So-
for
Their lives wasn't in danger. Basically.
no, but that's
But
the
they
one that
turn
they
it
will.
off because they don't want them being leaked.
Yeah, so if they had if their lives were actually in danger, say for example the police that's at the riots these days, if they felt like they were about to be actually attacked, they would have had their body cams on. But because they knew what they were doing, they intentionally switched it off.
So for the cops who I mean I feel like if you're handcuffed and you're on your stomach and you have no weapons, what else? I mean, the most you can be done to you is spit on, right? I mean,
He was face down as well, so it's not like he can spit at somebody.
He was face
anyway.
I mean,
face
one
down, somebody
guy-
sat on his neck.
I mean, they could have just put their hand on his back, you know?
He was already handcuffed. He was
I
already
mean,
down on the ground. He
So
couldn't
that's
do
why I
anything
feel like
about
they should all be charged. Because it doesn't take 4 people to lay a guy down and keep him restrained in handcuffs, hands behind his back, already on
it
the
while
floor
laying
flat.
down.
So I've had this discussion with quite a few people. Apparently, the Minnesota Police Department, Minnesota rules are different. But for me personally, I think it should be first degree. Because for me, it is premeditated. When you're sat on somebody and they say, "I can't breathe," and then you don't move off them, that for me is premeditation. But
Yeah.
apparently, it's a lot more difficult to prove first degree in Minnesota because it would have to be premeditated before they got
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more difficult. But even still, that can be, I think it's up to like 40
Yeah.
years.
I mean, because as a
second
police
degree.
officer, you're supposed to help a person. Like if I'm on someone's legs and I'm holding them down and I'm making sure that the backside doesn't come up, and I hear somebody saying they can't breathe and I'm holding the guy's legs down and we're supposed to be restraining this guy, even though it wasn't properly what needed to happen. I mean, as a police officer, I'm supposed to at least look over and be like, hey, this guy he's saying you can't breathe. Like, you guys want to ease up there, you know? Like, as a police officer, you guys want to
Even
stop?
if you're the guy stood off to the side,
Yeah.
and you're not actually doing anything, I'd be like, you might want to like
And
ease
he's
up
right
off of it a
there.
bit.
He see the guy bleeding and he can't, you know, like his face is scraping against the cement.
Yeah.
You know, like he's crying at one point. You know,
He
to
was
be human and to sit there and watch that.
he was calling for his mum to help. That's how much pain.
His mom died 2 years ago.
Oh,
Mom
maybe
is
this
dead.
Someone else.
No. He's calling for his mom, but she's dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So
No, I
he's
knew
calling
that
for
he
his
called out for his
mom.
mum, but wow. I think that makes it even worse. The fact that he felt like he had
Yeah.
to call out. Messed up world.
But man, do you think we addressed a lot? I mean, I don't know what else there could be addressed. You know, I'm just kind of curious to see what's next. You know,
I wonder why the burning thing. Like, I know it's for the cops to go into jail and everything and be
Mhm.
like, trial, but why are they burning things? We're gonna have to pay more.
You
We're
know,
gonna have to pay more for the cities that are being burnt down to the
some
ground. To the
some people don't even care about paying anything. Like they don't care. And who knows who's the person? Because it could be one person out of the thousands marching who burns down it. You know, it's not like in groups. Like everybody's like, "Hey, you get the Molotov." You know, like go ahead and throw it. Like, it's just people who have so much anger inside of them. And who knows if it's like ex officers who's burning down? Who knows if it's little kids who think it should just be burnt?
There was a video of I think it was actually in Atlanta. A lot of the stuff I've seen is actually from Atlanta, but there's a video. I think it was Atlanta. There was an old police car, right, not in use anymore, and it was intentionally dumped in the middle of a road, so that people could like start. And it wasn't the protesters put it there; the police put it there as bait, basically.
Yeah.
And then people were like damaging it. Everybody was like circled around it. People were damaging it, and then there was a guy came in, white guy, typical. He poured petrol on it or something, or he did something to set the car on fire, and then walked off. Now I think he's an undercover cop because he had his face covered. I think either he's undercover and he's trying to make it look bad, or he's Antifa, or he's somebody trying to undermine the entire thing, because that is happening right now. There are people who are literally undermining it completely, and for me, that's it needs to be stopped. They need to have because there's another one as well where you had all the actual Black Lives Matters protesters were trying to stop people from breaking into a store and looting it, and the people who were breaking into the store and looting it were white Americans. And
like I seen a video of some people breaking an ice box in Georgia. That's like a big, jewelry company, and it's crazy to think that they're actually all these companies and making people just burning these things down and stealing, because they have so much power as a group that they're just wasting, just pushing energy all over.
And then again,
negative energy.
As like citizens struggling already due to the corona, I think that's what makes the looting even more bad, because people they gave a stimulus check, but that wasn't enough. And then I feel like people are starving trying to feed their kids and they can't work. So then again, it's kind of like I feel like it encourages them even to loot even more due to the situation that some people feel the government put us in.
I do think that a lot of the people though, like you look at Jake Paul, he's not exactly struggling, but he was looting.
Yeah.
For a lot of them, obviously there will be some where they will start looting because they'll coming across the store, and they're really really struggling, and they'll come across a store that's already being looted, and they're like, you know what, I need to do something to survive. But then I feel like for the most part, I don't think it is people who are struggling. I think it's people who are trying to undermine, or it's either people who are trying to undermine from the right, or police who are trying to undermine the movement, or it's people from Antifa who are just trying to send a message.
Yeah, we never know. I mean, who knows? But I feel like that's another reason why, why people.
I think it's a mixture. I think sometimes it's Antifa, and I think sometimes it is people from the right trying to undermine.
It's definitely a mixture.
But most of the actual Black Lives Matter movement are trying to do it peacefully.
I mean, because I was looking at an Instagram live yesterday, and the person who stole the phones from the store, he was saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sell these right back to T-Mobile." It's not even, like that's kind of like what I heard. I'm like, okay, so they're trying to get money back, and I feel like they're like, "Oh, y'all owe me this." That's kind of how some people feel. Like you guys owe us money. I feel like a lot of the people feel like that. The government owes money. And
I definitely think the government needs to do a hell of a lot more.
I feel like they need to give money the same way they got those accounts set up. They need to go ahead and hit all citizens with some money. Because I feel like, I don't understand why we're in debt when the money is being printed.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand the whole when money is being printed.
It has no value.
That's the thing. Capitalism. The thing with capitalism is that however much money is printed, most of it just stays with the banks. And it's until you have earned it, which you're then being forced to do jobs. But then I feel like if there was, say, that universal basic income, how many people then who are doing the necessary jobs now, say for example like retail workers, would just go, well, I'm earning money anyway, no matter what, I'm going to quit. And then those essential jobs then don't get done. So I feel like you have to try to find the balance.
So do you feel like when robots take over jobs, do you feel like they should automatically start paying humans? Do you feel like we should get a monthly check because now we have robots doing the work for us as humans? Do you feel like we should get paid?
I don't know if that is ever actually going to happen with robots. Obviously, there will be some jobs where,
Yeah, there's already jobs, that robots can do for people, like scanning and, like You know, stuff like that. So
yeah,
automatically scanning alone is like that's already taken away so many jobs. Just scanning.
If nobody, I feel like if nobody had what was it? If nobody was able to work because obviously AI was doing all the jobs, then yeah, I do think that we would be owed a universal basic income because obviously there's nothing that anybody can do to earn money. But I feel like right now, with the way it is right now, universal basic income would be a good way to go about it, but then it's also a dangerous way because of the thing that I listed.
Yeah, already, and then also things that people do.
Yeah.
So, I get you.
Like, how many people right now, if they had a choice between working... Like, okay. I'm somebody who I hate sitting in and doing nothing. But if... so obviously I have to work because obviously, you know, I have to earn, but then also sitting and doing nothing drives me insane. So working is like a saving grace for me. If I'm somebody... there's people I know who, if they had a choice between earning an income or sitting in and doing nothing but getting the same income, they would 100% choose to sit indoors, play video games, and.
I mean, not 100% covered. I mean, because you can create your own company or do your own things. You know, have your own farm. You know, like I feel like it shouldn't be not 100%, obviously, but.
There will be people.
That gives more time to focus on creating things for the environment and for the world instead of focusing on working 24/7.
There will be people who would still want to work, but then I don't think that there would be enough people if they did bring in. Say, for example, if they made it like mandatory $1,200, right? Everybody gets $1,200. How many people then are gonna either go, well, I don't need to work anymore, or how many people would then go, I only have to work part-time, you know, just to and get extra money.
I mean, but then again, you have to think about the businesses and people who just want to create things to make it out. You know, we're just creating more because people have to work. So I feel like, is it a bad thing if people don't have to work? Like, do we really need all of these cows being driven everywhere? Do we really need people to be sitting there scanning something that you can do yourself with a kiosk? Like how many cashiers would be taken off of the list if we had a self kiosk for every single person, and then helpers for the heavy items?
But then with that one, with the self kiosk, how many people would not know how to work it?
I mean, as humans, we can be taught. We learn things every day.
But then there's a lot of people who find it really difficult to learn new things.
Yeah, helpers. You know.
Like there's the stereotype that old people can't work technology. Yeah. How many of the older people, no matter how many times you show them how to do it, would really struggle? But then even still, they
can have it delivered to them, you know, or if they want somebody to do it for them, they can have people who just, you know, who are there to their assistant. You know, so I mean, how many people would be off the list and not have to work? But then again, they don't want to pay those people. You know, so it's kind of like, you know, because I mean, we're looking at the future at this point.
I don't think we're close enough yet to where like all jobs will be replaced with AI. I don't think. I mean, but it's
kind of happening, you know, because at McDonald's, in LA, there's kiosks in most of the McDonald's where you can order your own, you know, food. People are kind of still like, you know, getting used to it, but they're introducing it.
But then you do still have somebody to make your food and then somebody to bring your food to you.
So that was another thing I was thinking about. You know, there's a lot of topics I always think about, but currently my mind is just pondering upon, like, you know, nothing. You know, it's just like, because we went over so many topics, it's crazy. It's good to talk to people about this, though, you know, to see what another person's standpoint is and respect their opinion.
Yeah, I think it's definitely good to have your perspective on this. Because obviously you're somebody who is so affected by it. Like it's interesting hearing your side, like how, like when I asked earlier, like how do you think we should react? Like what can I do? It's good to actually hear somebody who is in the know of like how they want people to behave, as opposed to just me sitting there going, well, I think I should do this. It's like, you can actually say, like, this is what's helpful.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I feel honored to be able to at least, be able to help. Any way I can, I'm gonna help. Like, whether it's talking to somebody to help them with their mental state, or getting out there and recording, or putting out a documentary that sparks a lot of creativity, or a lot of like empathy within people's souls. I want people to feel it, like, and I think that's what a lot of people want. They want you to feel their pain, and then some people go about the wrong way, but some people they know how to talk to a person and make them understand. So
yeah, I do wish that there was more I could do, but obviously from the UK,
yeah,
it's not really.
But you're doing a lot right now.
I'm sharing, donating, signing petitions.
Just by being able to talk.
Yeah. Just by voicing your opinion. If the whole world voiced their opinion, then things will happen a lot faster.
See, at the same time as that, I do think though that you would have people who would be harmful to the cause. Obviously, you got people from, I would say, the far right. I feel like even people who are like on the right of politics are still siding with the Black Lives Matter movement. But then you have people from the far right are the only people who aren't siding. Do
you think it's better for that to happen though, to be able to? I mean, because people can articulate the situation. So if everybody's speaking on it, then I feel like we can all come to an agreement as humans, instead of people just not saying anything, or certain people just not doing anything about it. I feel like everybody talks about it, and we can all come to an agreement.
There are some people who will never see.
Obviously, it's some people, and that's just the people who were just like, like not to be offensive, but you gotta kind of just like, in majority.
There was a good video I saw the other day as well, and I'm not sure if I actually shared it on Twitter. Let me have a look through my Twitter. And
you're good, man.
It was basically along the lines of let me see if I can find it.
Take your time, man.
It was basically it was a woman saying what was it she said? I can't actually remember. It was it was a white woman, and she's a she teaches people about like white privilege, and she was doing like a seminar, and she was saying and she was talking to a room full of white students, and she was basically saying, stand up if you would want to be treated the same way as black people, and always like raise your hand.
And no one stand up.
No one raised their hand, or whatever it was that she.
It was like in a stadium.
I'm pretty sure the one I saw was in like a lecture hall or something.
Was it it was an old lady, right, that was saying it?
Yeah.
Yep, we're on the same page. Cool.
You're good.
I'm pretty sure I shared it, but
I didn't see that though, but wow. That's crazy, man. That is not, it's like so crazy. It's like no one stood up.
No, because obviously it was asking if they would be happy to be treated the way that, and like everybody, I feel like everybody's aware that there's prejudice, even if they deny it. I feel like even they're aware. Yeah, they must see it, even if they don't necessarily. Oh no, I've gone way too far back. It's not there. Let's have a look on YouTube.
Thank you for being here, Rainer. I appreciate it, man. This is my friend, right? My guy, man. Yo, since we're in your halftime for you find the video, me and Rainer wanted to do an interview on our progress as far as like building ourselves as YouTubers. Sometime soon. That would be nice.
Wait, what was that?
Me and Rainer we're thinking of doing an interview sometime soon of like our progress, like becoming YouTubers so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I've been uploading it. I've been uploading, but Rainer's just starting. So, it'll still be cool to see that because he's just starting out, and when you're just starting out, it's cool to get a lot of moments, like your progress. So yeah, definitely sometime gotta get that popping. That's gonna be funny.
Gotta put some funny moments up there.
Some funny moments. You're funny, man. That was hilarious, bro. That whole video had me just dying, man. I was laughing.
He said.
That was hilarious, man.
Please stand.
Here we go.
I
managed to find the video.
Okay.
This is a shorthand version of it, but
okay.
I've managed to.
Yep.
There we go.
Video.
If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others. If you...
How old is that clip?
Oh God, it's just gone. It is. I don't actually know. It's Jane Elliott. Anyway, I can tell you that one. I can actually see it on YouTube now.
I want every white person in this room.
It was 2016. It was uploaded.
Wow.
So it's at least what 3-4 years old.
It's crazy to see that's still relevant. Like
that's still relevant. It's still going to today's time.
But then you look at
4 years ago.
So the song what's it called? Where is the Love?
Is that a video?
Black Eyed Peas, Where is the Love?
Oh. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Actually. Well, it's a song.
Does it talk about the situation basically, or Does it speak upon the situations that we're talking about? Basically?
It's mostly talking about terrorism and stuff. It's hang on, I'll see if I can get the lyrics up. But
I really, I'm super curious, of what's gonna happen, man.
Hopefully.
Only time can tell.
Yeah, I'm being patient.
That's all we gotta worry about. Time. Only time can tell.
I feel like we're the generation that's gonna make a lot of change.
Definitely. A lot of people are breaking the cycle of racism in their families as far as being different races too. That's amazing.
Yeah, because a lot of people obviously they grow up going to school with. So they grow up going to school with people of all different races, and they understand it more. Whereas previous generations haven't necessarily done that.
Yeah, right about that. It's cool to see also too, seeing the younger generations be like, yeah, that's wrong. They understand so much more. It's kind of astonishing when you see it. You're like, it gives you hope, It's wow, that's one thing I would say. Somebody hacked my man's camera.
Oh, what's going on here?
That's funny, man.
Camera.
Somebody hacked my man. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
What happened, Curtis?
I'm having a slight technical malfunction here.
It's okay, man. Take your time.
Right, turn on my... There we go. Right. Turn on screen share.
Just don't get hacked again, my man.
Well, what showed up for you guys? Was it just a black screen?
Yeah, it was just a black screen.
Yeah, it was just black screen, man.
What? I just tried. Apparently, apparently it doesn't want to show the lyrics, so I'll read them out.
Did you do the full screen application? Like not just the window, but the full entire screen?
That's what I've tried doing. But oh wait, no, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's not actually.
There's two bars up there that you could tap. One says your application window, and then the one for the entire screen.
Yeah, they're still showing a black screen as well. All of my stuff is showing.
Nah, you're good right now. Oh, okay.
Like
but go ahead, you can read them out. It's okay if you can't. Oh, there it goes.
Oh no, that's the wrong screen.
Hey man.
There we go. Right. So you can read the lyrics.
Oh, let me put a full screen.
The world, mama. People living like they ain't got no mamas.
That's crazy.
Man.
How relevant is that to today?
That's very powerful.
Oh, it said the Bloods in a Crip Sweat? It said the Bloods in a Crip Sweat? I didn't see it up there.
Oh, it's the Bloods and the Crips and the KKK. But if you only have love for your own race, then you only leave space to discriminate, and to discriminate only generates hate, and when you hate, then you're bound to get irate. And
I'm probably need to listen to that
This
song
was
again.
a song released in 2003.
Yeah. That just goes to show, man. You know? That just goes to show.
And the issue's been going on for a lot longer than that as well. That's the worst part of it. Reverend Martin Luther King, when was it? Like 1963? Something like that, 62?
It's a long time, man.
Yeah.
Hell of a long
Been a
time.
while.
It is wild, man. Like, I've never seen this before. Like, as far as like, you know, like people taking action to do what they can as, you know, as a different race and help out. I've never seen this before.
I think it's a lot of people, like, it's built up anger. So every time it happens, every time it's like, oh, another one. Eventually you get to the point where you're almost kind of desensitized to it. But then you kind of get to the point, you know, like every time I hear like a mass shooting in America, I'm like, okay, another one. You know, like it's not that shock factor anymore.
At that point, you're just used to it. You know what I mean?
You what?
You're just used to it.
Yeah.
It's just like you see it every day.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
you're just like, oh wow. Yeah.
But then eventually,
happening over and over again.
Eventually, you get that, not the shock factor back, but eventually you start getting angry, and if enough people get angry at the same time, then this happens. And it's good to see, but then at the same time, I don't like the fact that it's being hijacked.
Man, I would say for me, it's been a couple of times where I haven't done any bad actions, but there's been times like this week where I've just been like scrolling at nighttime and I'll see something else that like happened like about 2 years ago, and that rage will just kind of like rotate inside of me, and I control it obviously because I'm a good person and I know how energies work, so I control it. But it's just
I do feel like even those who are angry, most of them are very good people. They're just angry that their lives are being taken, and
yeah, it's just the same result.
Yeah, like they're just tired of not being able to do anything about it.
Yeah,
they're tired of the question and not getting the answer.
Yeah,
literally. Man,
I feel like I could literally be here for another few hours talking about it, but I have work tomorrow, So I've got to have a
definitely.
shower and stuff. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
leave it
no, I
there.
appreciate it, man.
We have been talking live for over 2.25 hours. So
That's a
fine
long
editing
time, yeah,
that.
for sure. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate Vayner. If you guys want to close it out, I mean, that would be great. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I will let you know what? I think I will let you two have the closing statements, seeing as how you two are the ones in America. You two can have the last says.
Raina, you can go first, man.
You go first, my man.
You sure? You want rock, paper, scissors or what?
You just go ahead, my man.
All right. If you can take action, try to get out there. I would say if you can voice your opinion, try to develop yourself, try to read some books, try to get yourself into a state where you feel that you're at peace. Either right now or after this. Don't put your anger into the wrong concept. Try to be empathetic. Try to understand one another, and act on the situation. Talk to more people. Be more social. This is a time to help everybody heal. So if you can, get into certain people's conversations or go into certain threads and help the people unite as one and come up with a decision that we should make as a people. Go ahead and do that. Do some research. And definitely get outside so we can get rid of this corona. Get you some nature. That's what I would say. I love everybody, man. No matter what. Like, I love Asians. I love Puerto Ricans. I love black people. I love white people, light skin, Jamaican, Belizean. I really don't care if you're purple. Like,
you picked some really random countries there that I wouldn't have even thought of off the top of my head.
I love Guatemalans. I love Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? That's what I have to say, man. I hope that was a good exit for you guys and a good closure and conclusion, definitely, to all this stuff that's been going on. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Check out Curtis's channel. I appreciate him too for putting this together because he's the one who put this together. So if anybody's getting the thanks, it's him because he's out here actually trying, And he's not even trying; he is doing it because this is the conclusion right here. So
he's trying to make a difference.
Shout out to him, man. Yeah,
right now.
He's making history.
Okay.
He's in the history books. Like, how we're in school and you read about upon the head, it's gonna say Curtis right there. When you say flip the page 292.
Not quite gonna go that far. That's another thing as well. I know I said final statements. I know I said final statements, but I have actually considered joining like the police force or something, becoming an MP or something. Yeah, becoming a politician to try to make a difference. But I'm not, like, when it comes to the policing, I'm not sure that that's for me. Like, I'm not strong enough or anything. But when it comes to
just be human, man. You could be a good citizen.
Yeah, just be you, bro.
Just be you. You don't even have to join. Just be you, and then
I'll try to make a difference using my YouTube channel instead. Okay, Raina.
Yeah, man.
Final statements.
Jay actually covered it all, but I want to say focus on your mind. Just focus on you during this time because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, definitely, because we're like so quarantined, stuck together, and I want you to just focus on your mind. Just make yourself happy. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think we are about done. Thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, man. Thank you,
it's
bro.
It's been a very good discussion.